Triumph's Austin Forkner. Welcome to the swimming pool. Hey everybody, Walter Wanderers, buckle up, strap in. We got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugar coating it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. So Austin Forkner, welcome to the swimming pool. Today we're going to examine the good, the bad, and maybe even a little bit of the ugly.
No, Walty, not the ugly. Only examine rainbows and sunshine.
No. Somebody's got to read between the lines and look between the ruts. We got some massive ruts displaying right now in the Austin Forkner camp and Triumph for that intents and purposes. And I reported on this after the Jordan Smith win here on the West. I mean, that was almost a double-edged sword because great for Jordan Smith, great for Triumph, but not so good for the other Triumph riders because, you see, we can't blame the bike anymore, a new program, which is understandable, like anybody in their right mind, that especially like Austin Forkner that's won as many races as that he has. Can't blame the bike. And he even said as much. These videos, and thank you guys, if you're new, get subscribed and jump over to the community page, participate in some of the polling. I mean, we reported on this before, and I'm sure Austin Forkner probably got wind of it, is he said this in his pre-race press conference interviews. The bike can win. The bike can win. The bike can win. We know the bike can win. And the reality is this. I mean, I talked about this. This is going to put added pressure on these other riders. And unfortunately for Austin Forkner, I mean, this was a massive roll of the dice. And now this was round one, and he wasn't feeling good. I get it. But even if he was feeling good, this dude's coming off a massive injury. And you see, he even said himself, this was a hard move for him because Mitch Payton over at Cali, and we all know they've been having just the horrible injury bug on that team now for some time. And they were like Star Racing forever. They were the dominant 250 program. That's where everybody wanted to be. But now Star Racing is, and these guys are having a really hard time. But Mitch had always made a spot for Austin Forkner. And it was hard because Austin Forkner went ahead and left. And I don't know if it was for much more money or maybe no more money. Maybe it was a break even. Maybe it was a match their contract move. I just need a fresh start. Maybe it was some people in Austin's camp saying, hey, these injuries might be associated with the bike and the program over there because everybody's getting hurt at that program. So, I mean, and there might be a little even truth in there, right? So we don't blame Austin Forkner from saying, hey, maybe I should try a different program. And this is a good program, and Ricky, I'm sure everybody, and, Ricky's
I'm the
involved.
GOAT, the greatest of all time.
This,
SMX.
That's a double-edged sword too. Because on one hand, yeah, you got Ricky, but on the other hand, you got Ricky. So, he's kind of a no sugarcoating it dude. And I mean, you're only as good as your last race. And, as much as they're not going to give Austin Forkner the wiggle room that Mitch Payton gave him. If Austin Forkner doesn't deliver this year, they're probably not signing him up for another year or whatever when his contract expires. If he's posting the type of results he posted in Tampa, he will not be on Triumph very long. But had he done that with Mitch Payton, he probably still would have had a ride, maybe for less money, but they would have made a bike available to him because Mitch Payton probably feels like he owes the kid at least that because he's taken, almost killed himself trying to bring him wins. And I have a lot of respect for Mitch Payton for making room for Austin Forkner because of that very fact. That's very commendable. And Mitch Payton's been in this game a long time. That's one of the longest standing, if not the longest, factory-supported 250 effort in the industry and a wildly successful brand with product lines, so that's huge. But the reality is this, it's funny. Austin Forkner had posted on his Instagram and, I was basically just saying, I was sick and I got cleaned out by a rider and this and that. And he struggled. He was basically on the struggle bus, right? And he did his best. And it looks like where other riders have people doing their social media for them these days, most of these big Degans and even Bo Mare now has social media management. And they create their social media posts and then the riders will maybe approve it or appoint it. They usually want to look at it before it gets posted. But I think Austin Forkner either is smoking hot wife or somebody in his camp maybe is helping, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was authentically his words. And so I jumped in there and I'm like, hey, bro, that was like, a really tricky track, dude. Not, whatever. I tried to kind of encourage the guy. He needs it right now. If anybody needs it, it's Austin Forkner. Like, we are all cheering for him. We'd love to see him. Actually, I'm kind of glad he didn't go out and win, because then they had pressure to go do it again, and then he could have had the big accident. I think if the pressure is off the table now, which is clearly, if going into it, it wasn't on him as much, he didn't put much pressure on himself, because it's like, I ain't going to kill myself for anybody. But I'll go out there, and if I want to get podiums, and if I do, I want to go for wins. I'm a racer. I'm going to race. But at the same time, I'm almost glad that he had a bad race, but it wasn't a horrific race that he can line up again, because I think he needs to just take what he can get and not even put any pressure on him, even if it costs him his ride at Triumph. Like, who cares? Just get through a whole season, even if you're in 10th place the whole way and you finish in the top 10. Like, I think that would be a victory in itself, because you haven't been able to finish a complete season in so long. But I'm worried about Austin because, somebody came in and put me on blast on Instagram on Austin Forkner's post that I tried to encourage him on. Like,
Walty, you're always saying that the tracks are too cookie cutter and they need to make them more hard. You're a clown. Now you're saying that it was too tricky.
And I'm like, dude, give the dude a break, man. I'm just trying to encourage the guy. What do you want me to come on and just put him on blast? Like, the dude went and lined up. This is gladiator game stuff. He had brain surgery, dude. He's risking his life. And that track was extremely challenging. If it was cookie cutter, I wouldn't have been able to say that. It was not cookie cutter. And I appreciated that. But if there was, I could see, though, where somebody would put me on blast for that, because I usually am like, they're too cookie cutter. 9 whoops. What? No more dragon spec. What? No more. It's like, no more tunnels. What? Because, they say to make these tracks safer. But are they safer? No. They're throwing in sand sections and tough blocks that are, if you just miss time, these guys are getting cleaned out by tough blocks, because as soon as you tag one, you're down. You're down. You'd be better off having some kind of flags around. Like back in the day, they have flags around the track to divide the track. Not big old fat tough blocks. So, I can see his point. But I was thinking, if you're going to throw a cookie cutter track at these guys, round 1, sure, I can live with that. An Anaheim 1 or a Tampa or whatever, the start of the East, sure. Give these guys that haven't raced yet an easier track to get their feet wet on. Don't throw some gnarly one at them at round 1. I know it's not round 1 for the 450s, but whatever. It is for the 250s. And then next weekend or the next, put a track like that in the mix. Because the reality is this, even a cookie cutter track in the East is going to rut up and throw its own challenges at these riders, regardless if it's just a typical whoop pad, triple jumps in a rhythm section, and that's it, So I think that's basically what I was trying to say. The reality is this, Austin Forkner, this is a tough one, man. I need to hear from you guys. Jump into the comments and jump over to the community page. If you're new, get subscribed. Jump over to the community page. Bring an open face and some tear-offs. We'll poll this thing. Some Austin Forkner polling, like where he's going to finish. I don't know. We got to think it up, because the reality is this. I need to hear from you guys, because Austin Forkner is really, this is dangerous that he's even out there. And, the reality is this. I don't think Triumph's going to give him the leeway that Pro Circuit did. I think if he doesn't have stellar finishes, and now because of Jordan Smith winning, and again, we got to see what happens. That story's not closed yet. Jordan Smith could start stinking up the joint when we go back west, and he could be a Mookie one-hit wonder type of situation. Not that Mookie's a one-hit wonder, because we don't know yet, but you get what I'm saying. This could be the only win that Triumph gets, which is huge. But there's a good chance that if Jordan Smith now doesn't win and doesn't podium, he might start blaming the bike. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a moto guy that wants to see you not only win on the track, off the track. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. The shark infested. Austin, welcome to the swimming pool. Brother, I didn't want to say you're in the deep end, dude, but you kind of are. You know, we're cheering for you, dude. We really are, because this is gladiator games, blood sports stuff. And even though the industry wants to water it down, make it electric bike woke, I shouldn't say that, but you know, it's kind of going that direction with intermissions and trying to spin doctor it into mainstream ball sport formats to cross market it to whoever they can to get a bigger audience involved and Telemundo it up. It won't matter. This is always going to be alternative extreme sports, modern day gladiator games, and no one's proved that more than Austin Forkner, and that's why I'll be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to follow me there, along with the links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Don't go over the bars. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.